Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this edition, we talk all about stock markets, how markets have opened in trade today, what kind of a trading action can you really expect for today's trading day, as well as where are the gains and losses being seen in the early action, and what are the triggers that the markets will be looking at for its direction going forward from here. Well, so far, we have been seeing 5 consecutive days of fall on the stock markets. A large part has to do with the tensions on global geopolitical front on Ukraine and Russia and the war. Signs emerging between the two because of the tensions right there, which actually led to a sharp fall and jitters across the globe, and equities across the globe as well, with Sensex falling 1,000 points intraday yesterday. Although the good point was that the markets definitely recovered from the low point of the day, but ended in the red. Today, there has been a gap up start after a long time. We are seeing some signs of green on the street, whether it is the benchmarks, the sectoral and indices, the broader markets, or even individual stocks. You are seeing many stocks and sectors right now in green at this point in time when we talk. Gap up start for the Sensex today. We saw Sensex jumping almost 300 points at open. It's trading around 57,600. The Nifty also was up by about 100 odd points right at open, or 0.5% uptick was seen. Around 17,200 is where it is trading at currently. About 1,400 shares have advanced in the early action, whereas about 550 shares have declined, whereas 60 shares remain unchanged in the early trading action. Talk about some of the stocks right there. Kotak Mahindra Bank, Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki, BPCL, and M&M. These are the major gainers. You have autos, you have banks, you have even oil and gas and OMC stocks, which have not been performing very well in the past few sessions. So these are some of the stocks that are definitely gaining strength in the early action. ONGC, the lone gainer of yesterday, perhaps, which bucked the trend for large part of the session yesterday, is seeing some profits being taken off the table. LNT is also seeing some losses right there. Talk about the sectoral indices; all of them are trading in the green. And the mid cap and the small cap indices have also jumped into the green session right after sharp declines that were seen yesterday. Now, as for today, experts do believe that still the environment of volatility may continue for some more time till the time we get any clear indication of where the Ukraine Russia crisis is going to go from here on. Is it going to get de-escalated, or is Russia going to have some firm stand and may have some surprises and shocks that could actually float some more jitters across the street? That is something that the markets will be watching out for. As a result of this crisis, we did see oil prices really jump sharply, almost $99 a barrel yesterday, with a 4.5% jump on Brent crude. Now, that is something that also was something that worried the emerging markets and oil importing nations like ours, which is India. Now, what happened today is that there have been some cool off from those levels. As a breather of sorts, there were some statements which suggested that even if US and other countries put some sanctions on Russia, the oil supply shocks will not be as it was being anticipated. So some cool off on the crude oil prices right there could be a breather for us as an oil importing nation right here. Now, experts like Ajit Mishra, who's the vice president research at Religare Broking, they believe that still one needs to have a very cautious view on the stock markets. He has suggested traders to limit the leveraged positions as of now. He believes a decisive breakdown below 16,800 on the Nifty could definitely bring in sharp fall on the Nifty and a fresh fall. Otherwise, the choppiness is likely to continue for this entire week for now as well. The FIs have been on a selling spree. Even in yesterday's trading session, they sold 3,245 crore rupees worth of shares. The DIS compensated by buying 4,100 odd crore rupees of shares in yesterday's trading session. The focus is largely going to be very stock specific today. Keep an eye out on stocks like Hero Motocorp, which has joined hands with BBCL on EV infrastructure. Wipro has done some investments in US based startups like WeFunction. Keep an eye out on that. On the domestic front, we have seen M&A happening between Crompton Greaves Consumer and Butterfly Gandhimati. This was in the news, and finally the news has come through that Crompton Greaves Consumer has signed a definitive agreement to acquire 55% stake in Butterfly Gandhimati Appliances for 1379 crore rupees as electrical consumer durables company now looks to raise its play in the small domestic appliances. The company which will do the deal at 1400 rupees per share will also buy certain butterfly trademarks from the promoter group entities at about 30.38 crore rupees as well. So this is largely the broad contours of the deal. So keep an eye out on these two spaces. There may be some stock movement action on this front as well. Brokerage houses also have some stocks and sectors on their radar. For example, Credit Suisse has come out with its report on Bandhan Bank, which it believes the credit costs are being seen as moderating now. It expects the return on equity to be about 25% in FY23 for Bandhan Bank. The brokerage house has maintained its outperform rating on the lender's shares with a target price of 360 rupees. CLSA on pharma sector believes that risk reward is favorable for a few stocks like Dr. Reddy's, Cadila, and Torrent Pharma. It has upgraded rating on these shares of Torrent Pharma as well to buy from outperform. On BPCL, UBS has separately come out with a report, believes that there is a further scope of earnings upgrade for BPCL on the basis of the strong refining margin. It also believes that it has maintained a buy rating on the stock of BPCL with a target price of 600. So those are some of the stocks that will be on your radar today. Apart from that, in an overall scenario, all eyes will be on developments from the Ukraine Russia front, on the crude oil front, and how the commodity space is really growing. We have seen that in the year 2022 so far, calendar year, it's been almost 1.5 months now, and over that, we have seen gold as emerging as the asset class which has performed better. So, does it really make sense for you to switch to safe haven assets in this year? For in hopes of better returns? That is something that our focus will be on business today. All through the day we will get you expert voices on that, so do stay tuned with us for any important news on the world, in the world of stock markets, and from the world of business as well, so that we can keep you updated with everything that may have an impact on your investments and wallet. But don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thanks a lot for tuning in for now.